Buffalo is going to win it, folks.
Kick your heels up and shout.
Let's see why the Buffalo Bills are en route to the playoffs.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout.
Buffalo Bills go undefeated. And we're going to the Super Bowl. Yeah.
Now, baby. Come on, come on.
No one
Come on
circles the
and
wagon
shout.
like the Buffalo Bills.
All right, we are live, and we are back. Welcome to another episode of the Overdue Bills podcast. Listen, we're definitely excited today. We told y'all we got two special guests with us today. We're definitely about to get into the show, and let's do it the right way. You know, I have our guy, yours truly. My guy, Matt, a.k.a. Matty Ice. Matt, what's up with you, man?
Nothing much, man. Enjoying this Saturday, ready for a big game tomorrow, man.
Absolutely. Definitely anticipating this game. And we have two special guests. We have Kyle. Kyle, what's up to the people, man?
How's everything, guys? Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And Davenport, just take off the port. Davin, what's up with you, man?
Hey, what's going on? Appreciate y'all having us on. So it's very good. It's very special.
Absolutely, man. We're definitely excited, for you being here. And before we kind of introduce the guests, let's do this. Let's get our sponsor out the way. We definitely appreciate them. So, Matt, please let the people know who sponsors this show.
Yes, sir. This episode and every other episode is brought to you by none other than Buffalo Wing Kings. At the Overdue Bills podcast, there's two things the guys over here know. That's Bills football and that's wings. Our first choice and the best choice is Buffalo Wing Kings. At Wing Kings, it's Wings 101. With over 101 different flavors and their beloved Wing of the Month special, Wing Kings is sure to school any other place around. Hit them up for any football games, any parties you have going on. Wing Kings definitely has you covered. Stop down and see them at their Elmwood location at 484 Elmwood Avenue, or give them a call at 716-248-1427. Find out why they say, and we know, they got the best wings in town, hands down. And make sure when you go in there, you mention our name, Overdue Bills Podcast. Get 10% off your order.
Shout out to Buffalo Wing Kings. Definitely appreciate them. They've been holding us down throughout the season. Please go check them out. Definitely go get some wings for the game tomorrow. Man, I was just looking at my phone real quick, and it kind of startled me for my fantasy team. Robert Woods out for the season. He tore his ACL. I was like, oh, my God, it's crazy. It's crazy, I know. But listen, let's do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. We got the merch. Shout out to the OverdueBillsPod.com website, OverdueBillsPod.com. We got all your merch needs. Please go over there and check us out. We see our guy, Matt. He's sporting our Salute to Service hoodies. Shout out to all of our servicemen out there, all of you veterans, just all of you who definitely served into the military. We appreciate you. We got our Salute to Service out there. Matt, you got something to say about it?
Just get on there, or you can place your orders now. 10% of all proceeds is going to the Wounded Warrior Project. So it's something, we definitely want to give back. We did the breast cancer last month, so get on, you can order now. We have our article that Mike wrote. It was released yesterday, so definitely take a look at that if you haven't already.
Absolutely. Please go. Shout out to our editor-in-chief, Mike Daniels, on our website, definitely releasing those great articles. We definitely appreciate him for that. All right, let's get into the show, man. Quick question of the day. Before I introduce these guys, I'm going to throw these guys, to the fire real quick, man, because the people want to know. Listen, quick question of the day. Mike White or Zach Wilson? That's what we want to know. I know Zach Wilson is heavily touted. I understand that, he got the pedigree and all this amazing things. But Mike White, 500 yards, 4 touchdowns, only 2 picks. I mean, listen, he looked good. I thought y'all was going to win the Colts game personally. I'm going to be honest if he had stayed in the game. But so I'm going to ask you, Kyle, I'm going to go to you first, Kyle. Mike White or Zach Wilson?
For me, definitely right now, I'm going with the hot hand. I want them to play Mike White.
Okay.
And for a couple of reasons. One, we need to change the culture. So if this guy can come in and win games for us, that's the direction that we want to go. And another big part of this is the fact that White is a restricted free agent coming next year. So if he balls out and a team is willing to give up 2 second rounds or, something to that degree because he's got tendered for that, why not? But if they don't sign him, we would then be able to sign him for whatever that tender is, might be like $5-6 million. And if he balls out, to be able to have a backup quarterback at his caliber that was winning games for us for $5 million, that's a no-brainer.
That's interesting, Kyle, because you speaking in terms of backup, speaking in terms of what you can get for him. So I'm going to go to Davin. Is that the way the kind of, the Jets fan base feel, or is it more of a, Zach Wilson might have to get out of here, man? I don't know. How y'all feel about it?
Speaking from the Jets fans per se, they know that Wilson was supposed to come in and be that guy, but he doesn't know about the boring game, and that's the problem right now, and he has to learn. So it's good for him to sit out and learn from a veteran guy. We didn't expect what Mike White did against the Bengals, for one. Right. And for two, it looked like he was about to do something against the Colts, so he got injured. He did. So that's two. And for three, they saying, well, Mike White is out there right now. Let him play his game and let's see what happens. So I think what they should do is go to a week-to-week basis. If Mike White does bad, then if Zach is ready, let him come back in, and hope that he could come back in and just come and hopefully he learned from his injury, and just watching Mike White, watching not even him, just Josh Johnson, because Josh Johnson actually had a decent game in the second half.
He's pretty good.
So take it. In my opinion, just take it a week to week.
So Matt, and I'm gonna go to you, Matt, because obviously we're in a division together, and if Wilson is a good quarterback, obviously we're gonna see him more and more, as the years to come. But how do you feel? I know we kind of centralize on the Bills, but I've seen a couple of Jets games. I know you have. Do you have do you sway anyway? Would you rather see Mike White tomorrow, or would you rather see Zach Wilson? How do you feel?
Well, you know what? It really doesn't matter, I guess, who we see, because I'm more biased on the side of I think that our defense is gonna give fits to whoever's under center, right? So I'm not really swayed one way or another, to be honest with you. I mean, honestly, if I was to pick one, I would say Zach Wilson, just because the rookie hasn't really seen that type of defense week in and week out. So I would like to be able to see how he does against our defense, see what kind of mistakes we can make him make. Interesting.
We definitely going to talk about the defense in a second, but what I want to do is I do want to get into the injury report, because we're going to get into the game. Let's get into the game, and I want to go to Matt because we have a big player out for the Buffalo Bills in Tremaine Edmonds, who is somewhat of our leader, definitely in our linebacking core, and he's been playing good this season. So how do you feel that's going to impact the game?
Well, it's going to impact it, I guess in one of two ways. Not, we have our signal caller, the leader of the defense out. That could, pose some problems for the guys up front. And then, just the communication on the defense, everything kind of seems to click when he's out there. And, he's been making plays. So that's two things that I think it's really going to hurt. And then I'm interested to see, I guess, who's going to step up in his spot. I don't know if it's going to be AJ Klein or if they're going to call Dodson up. That's going to be interesting to see that part of it too.
Absolutely. Definitely something to see. And I want to go to Davin because I was looking up on the Jets, and, this game specifically, one of the guys that we know we're definitely familiar with, Shaq Lawson. Shout out we used to call him Shaq Lawson where I'm from. But shout out to Shaq Lawson. Definitely a friend of the show. And it's just, I want you to talk about, kind of your injury report. It's a few players on there, but I was looking at him, and I've been watching him, a little closely. He's been doing decent. He's been out there, running around. So how do you feel that not having him is going to affect your defense? Or yeah.
Well, for one, I do want to touch bases. He is going to be playing tomorrow. Robert Salah said, yes, he is. Him and Mike White is the starter for tomorrow. Okay. So just if he was to be gone, it is going to kind of affect the defense a little bit. Bad enough our linebackers, and like just from a Jets fan point of view, our defense hasn't really been really good. Like without Mosley, it says a lot. But Shaq Lawson, yeah, we need him. You need every guy that you can get, because right now our guys are young. So basically, we have to rebuild the right way because of the bad GM, Mac per se. And now that we have JD, we have to rebuild the right way. So, we have a lot of young guys, and Mosley is our leader, and Lawson doing that. He's a veteran guy too. That's kind of one of our leaders as well. So, yeah, but he is playing tomorrow. So this is a good thing for us.
So let's move a little bit forward. I'm glad you talked about the defense and you talked about rebuilding, and I want to go to Kyle for this because you just got a new coach in Robert Saleh, right? He's coming from the 49ers. Yes. He's supposed to this big defensive guru, so to speak, right? This big rah-rah coach type of player. So Kyle, I'm gonna ask you, how do you feel about Robert Saleh like this far into the season? And like looking at your defense, do you see like any strides? Do you see like any anything getting better with him at the helm?
At this point, I'm not going to put too much pressure on him, and I'm going to say that because of the injuries. Okay. There's been multitude of injuries on our defense. Like at one point, we were running with our 5th and 6th linebacker, into the game, and then you look at our secondary. We have at least 2 rookies and a second-year guy, starting in our secondary. So. This defense is going to take time, to gel. We took a big hit with Marcus May being gone for the season, and I guess speaking even from, the Shaq Lawson standpoint, Shaq Lawson is our 3rd guy down the line because we lost Carl Lawson, and we also lost Huff, who was the guy after Carl Lawson. So, like I said, the defense is definitely taking some blows, and with all these people having to fill in 5th and 6th stringers, this type of production is should be expected, especially when you're playing solid teams.
Right. Definitely. It's a wait and see. It was a lot of fanfare around him, but it's definitely a wait and see. I'll definitely agree with that. And shout out to the people in the comments. Please like and share. Rate, review, subscribe, all of those amazing things. We definitely about to get into the matches right now. I know that's what y'all want to get to. So let's get to them, Matt. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but we know the Buffalo Bills is coming off of one of the most embarrassing losses in our franchise history. It was just god awful. It was just terrible, and I really don't want to talk about it. But with that being said, right, this in theory, what they're saying is supposed to be a bounce back spot, right? So let's talk about our defense. And what do you think the defense is going to do to a Mike White, right? He's kind of riding high. He beat the Bengals. Yeah. He scored on his first touchdown drive with the Colts. Just went right down the field. So what is this number 1 defense in the NFL? What do you think we're going to do to a Mike White to kind of get him off his rocker?
Well, we're going to kind of keep the same formula with, the constant pressure, blitzing, the Leslie Frazier type defense. But, one thing I want to touch on is that with, another thing with Tremaine Edmonds being out, the Jets' short passing game is great. Crowder has been a killer of us in years past, and then he targets Mike White. I think he targeted Michael Carter like 14 times in the game before. So he definitely, he gets that ball out of his hands, and then they're not afraid to run screens and get balls to playmakers to try to make that happen. And that's one area that our linebackers kind of lack in. And with Edmonds out, it's going to be it could be a long day unless we we kind of the guys up front kind of maybe tip some balls or get to them pretty quick. So I'm interested to see how that's going to play out. But we're definitely gonna give them some pressure tomorrow.
Absolutely, it's definitely going to be interesting. I want to ask you, Davin. He talked about a couple of your weapons. I know Corey Davis is nursing a hip injury. Do you have any information on that? Is he supposed to play?
Yes, he is playing.
So Corey Davis is playing. I think Denzel Mims is out. But with Elijah Moore, Carter, Ty Johnson, do you think that you're gonna have like an offense where all right, Mike White 2-step drops, get the ball out, like 2 steps, just get the ball out your hands. Let's see what our weapons can do. Or do you think it's like, okay, the playbook is open, Mike White, let's see what you can do? How do you feel that your offense is going to attack our defense?
I think in order for the Jets offense to actually succeed, they're gonna have to run the ball.
Okay.
They're gonna have to believe in Carter and Ty Johnson because y'all have like one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. The rush defense is a little, but it's still good enough. So they have to run the ball. That's for one, and then bring that passing game to them because it's not like they have any bad wide receivers. Elijah Moore had 2 touchdowns last game. Corey Davis could change it up in the second. And just like Matty Ice said with Crowder definitely is a good receiver. So it starts with the running, then it comes towards the passing. That's the way how I see it.
So, Kyle, do you think that your offensive line can hold up? Because I'm not sure. I did see somebody on the injury report. I'm not sure if he's playing or not. But do you think that the Jets' offensive line can hold up against the Bills?
I would say so. It's not going to be an easy task. The person that was injured was Idoga, and I think he was a backup. So that's not really a huge loss unless one of our guys go down, during the game. But I would say, piggybacking on what Davin said, definitely need to try to establish the run. And the reason why I say that is because I think it can play into what I believe the Bills is going to have in terms of being an aggressive defense. So if you can get guys to commit to the line of scrimmage on, those run plays, because you're knocking out 5 and 6 yards a chunk, that should open up the back half of the field so that they can get stuff off of play action and really use what I believe, like I said, the Bills' aggression, because coming off of, the loss from last week, I think that they're going to come out, looking to make a statement to say, that was a big fluke.
So it's funny you said that. I don't know, man. It's definitely going to be interesting to see how we attack it, right? Because that Jaguars game, I don't know. It's just throwing me out of whack. So I really don't know what to expect. But let me ask you this, Matt. Because supposedly Dawson Knox is expected to play.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we didn't talk about that on the injury report, but that's a huge big deal for the Buffalo Bills. Since he's been gone, we haven't necessarily been right. So let me ask you this, Matt, and attacking the Jets defense, because one of the things I was reading up on the Jets, one of the things that they do is they kind of take out the number 1 wide receiver of the opponent's team, or at least I don't know if it's a scheme thing, but like generally the number 1 wide receiver doesn't like kind of go off, which is Stephon Diggs in our case. So we need those other weapons. So how do you feel having Dawson Knox will help us with the offense? Because the last week we didn't score at all, or at least we didn't score a touchdown rather.
Yeah, so I mean, having Dawson back is obviously huge, and another big probably going to be back is going to be Spencer Brown at that right tackle position. We just kind of looked out of sorts with Cody Ford in there, and just the miscommunication on the line. I don't think Feliciano's back in because he's on IR, but it's going to be a lot better, I think, with him back there. We have to kind of get it. I think it'll help us, not only in the pass game, but in the run game too, because, Dawson Knox always has to be looked at as a pass catcher now. I guess, this season, I would say not always, because he was not really thought of as a pass catcher the last couple of years. But, with that element out there, you definitely have to account for the releases and the tight end screens and stuff like that. So that could help out in the run game also.
That's interesting. You touched on our offensive line, and our offensive line was terrible last week. It was just bad. So I'm gonna ask you, Davin, do you think that with our offensive line kind of being shaky, kind of getting healthy, can the Jets take advantage of it? Like, is it? I'm not familiar, but like, do you run a lot of blitzes? I mean, it's like how was the pressure? Is what
the pressure. It all depends on the quarterback, and it all depends on the D line. You got Quentin Williams, beast on the D tackle. Right. You also got other guys like Fadukasi. Like you said, Lawson, and there's John Franklin Myers. We got some okay, we got some good guys, but it all depends. Like, we didn't expect the Colts offensive line to do what they did to the Jets defensive line in the last game. So I'm saying it's the NFL and it's a given week. So I'm not going to say that we're going to come attack y'all and then all of a sudden y'all got all these blockers. Y'all have the best, rushing game of the year and so forth and so forth. So I think it's still good. It's good, but we'll see how it goes.
I hear you. I apologize for looking down on my phone. I actually got Robert Woods in a couple fantasy leagues, and I see people trying to pick up people. They trying to get me, but listen. So let's do this. Let's do this. We like to do the segment expectation versus reality, and we're gonna do an over under segment in a minute. But we want to do our expectation versus reality, right? Like what we expect versus kind of like what we really think is going to happen. But before we do that, Matt, can you please give the people our sponsor for this segment?
Yes, sir. This segment is brought to you by the good people at Buffalo Pet Supply. Do you have a pet? Are you looking into getting a pet or know somebody who has a pet? Then there's only one place to send them to have that pet live its best life. Buffalo Pet Supply. Specializing in fish, small animals, and reptiles, the knowledgeable staff over at Buffalo Pet Supply can get you set up or maintain whatever setup you may have. Stop down and see the family-owned and operated staff located over at 1345 Military Road in Kenmore, or give them a call at 716-874-1951.
Shout out to Buffalo Pet Supply, where your expectation is their reality. Appreciate them for being a sponsor. So let me ask you this, Kyle. What is your expectation of the Jets tomorrow? I just want your what do you think is going to happen?
I would say that I think that it's actually going to be a good game. I think it's probably going to be like pretty much a back and forth game. For just looking at previous games that we've played, any team that, so far that has a winning record, we beat. So it seems like we're playing up to the expectations of the teams that we're playing.
Okay.
Everyone that had a losing record, we lost to. So, I'm on that the aspect of thinking that it's going to be a good game going down the line, and we might pull it out.
I hear you. So let me ask you this, Davin. That was the expectation, right? It was a bit optimistic, Mm-hmm. So let me ask you about the Jets fans in particular. So give me the reality, that was a little bit more optimistic, but kind of give me the real. But also, can you talk about like the draft pick situation? Because that's in the play too, right? Let's be honest. It's like the Jets is not necessarily going to make the playoffs this year. It's just not happening. But like you can get a high, maybe the second pick, third, you know what I mean, depending on how much you lose if you just tank the season. How do y'all feel about that dynamic? Do you think y'all should just keep trying to win games, or maybe we should
I mean, to be honest with you, and I'm going to keep it real for myself and not just the Jets fans per se, but to be honest, remember, we got Seattle's first rounder coming up too.
Right.
So they have a tough schedule ahead of them. They got the Packers, they got the Cardinals, and the division is tough too. So we still have that. So even if we win 6 games, 5 games, whatever the case might be, I'll still be happy with a 10 or 15, even from Seattle's pick. So it's not a lose situation. If the Jets win, that's fine. Prepare for next season. But just in my opinion, if we do go top 10, top 15, I'm fine with that. But I'm also looking at Seattle. I'm looking at Seattle as well, because Ramaja, we got that. We have Darnold. Remember, we traded Darnold. Yeah. We have that second round, that 4th rounder, and that 6th rounder.
Jeez,
so we loaded up with draft picks for next season. So I think that's the last of my worries. But I think, from a Jets now, to speak of the Jets fans, to answer the question shortly, I think that they just want them to actually play with some fight. No matter if it's win or lose, like this play like y'all want to, do something in the future. There's a lot of Jets fans that say we ain't win nothing in 50 years. We still rebuilding after 50 years. It's a lot of talk from Jets fans, and it's not good. So I think if Mike White does give a fight and we do that for the rest of the season, I think they're on the right path.
Yeah, we've been on the same stuff. We've been rebuilding since OJ was playing.
So Matt, what's your expectation of the game, man? It's a bounce back spot.
Yeah. So, my expectation, I guess, it's, I know McDermott was in that, he's kind of more aggressive in his press conferences this week. He's kind of, delivering his usual, I guess, mid-year messages to the players and coaches, like, hey guys, it's time. This ridiculous kind of what we're putting out here. This is not the team that we have, the expectation, or the result that we should be putting out. So, and it's a divisional game. Got the guys got to kind of get their mojo back. So my expectation is for the guys to come out and be sharp. We got guys out in key spots. Whoever's up next, step up. And I think they're going to be sharp. I think they're going to do what they got to do, and also they're going to look into last year. Last time they played in New Jersey, Tyler Bass was our only point scorer.
Right.
So the offense didn't score last year.
Game.
He kicked he kicked what 5-6 field goals that game.
Something crazy. Yeah.
So that they're gonna look at that too. Like, we didn't score on these boys. We got to put up a touchdown. We didn't score last week. We got to go out and do something. The defense they're gonna come in, stay aggressive, do their thing. So that's my expectation of the game.
Interesting. Let's get to our over and under segment, because it's kind of where we kind of fill out the game. And I want to go straight to Mike White. And I'm going to Kyle. How you feel over or under 234.5 passing yards? Do you think it's going to go over that or under that?
I would say over. And the reason why I would say over is because like Devin spoke to about earlier, that boring game that that has been preached about, he does that well. So it's not going to be the 30, 40 yard pass. He's going to take 5, 10 yard passes, and they're just going to accumulate. So I definitely think he'll get over that mark.
Interesting. Matt, Josh Allen.
Yeah.
No. You're just going to Josh Allen over under 280 passing yards.
I think he's going to go I think he's going to hit the 300 tomorrow. I think he's, like I said, they're going to come out sharp. He's been getting a lot of criticism. I think he's going to come out and go at least 300 tomorrow.
Okay, so I'm going to throw both of them at you. So Mike White, 235 over under, and Josh Allen, 280 over under.
I'm going to say both over. It's a big game. It's a big game for the Bills. Like if you really look at it for y'all standpoint, if y'all lose the game and the Patriots win, the Patriots on top of the AFC East, and that wasn't supposed to happen. When you look at it, they got their quarterback from Alabama, Mac Jones, and then on top of that, they just spent $200 million on free agency for the Patriots, and for y'all, we expected y'all to be on top of y'all game. So, this is a must win. This is a must win for y'all. And I was expecting the same thing. So for both, it will be both. It will be a tough fight, but I'm going over for both.
So let me ask you this, Kyle. Over under 2 turnovers from the Jets offense.
That is I would say probably if anything, 2. I would probably say about 2. Okay. I would say I think that would be the mark for me, and I was saying nothing glaringly egregious in terms of the turnover. You have those mishaps where a ball gets punched out or a tip pass that so that's where I'm looking at.
So Matt, over under 2 turnovers to the Bills, because last week it was just terrible. So how do you think that Josh Allen's gonna throw 2 interceptions, or are we gonna have some turnovers?
You think how many turnovers?
Over under 2?
No, I think it's gonna be under 2.
Wow.
I think I don't think he's gonna get rid of. I mean, Josh Allen for the most part does a really good job at taking care of the ball. I know those dumb plays where he holds on to it sometimes and tries to make some crazy stuff happen. That I think that's going to be in last week. I don't think it's going to carry it over this week.
Okay, we're trying to get a feel of the game. So I'm gonna I want to ask it. They got the spread at 12.5. It's in the Bills. It's basically going to be a blowout, essentially. So I'm gonna ask Davin. Davin, do you how do you feel? Matter of fact, we can go right into it, man. Let's get your score prediction, man. Let the people know how you feel about the game.
I mean. I had spoke about it on the podcast. I think it was, when was it, Kyle? Was it Wednesday or Thursday? It was Wednesday night. To be honest with you, I think it's going to be under. I think because the Colts had that blowout, they think it's going to be the same thing. And when you really look at the Jets playing at the Meadowlands, we played the Bengals, we played the Titans. Me and Kyle actually went to the Titans game, met up and everything. And we won those games. And those are 2 top teams that's in the AFC right now.
Right.
So I feel like it's going to be under. It probably be a 7. I would say Buffalo by 7. My expectations was y'all will win 27-24, like a nice scoring game. But that's just speaking as an NFL. You know, I would love for the Jets to win, but that's a real expectation for me as an NFL guy that loves watching the NFL. So I got 27-24, but the spread would be y'all 7. It wouldn't be 12.5 because I think at home the Jets actually play real better at home than on the road.
I like that. Kyle, how you feel about it? And let me actually, does anybody know the weather? Is it because I know it's snowing here in Buffalo right now.
Let me. I think it's supposed to be.
You can answer, Kyle. Davin can look at. Yeah, you can answer.
Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, it's supposed to be. It's like a moderate day tomorrow. Nothing crazy.
Okay, cool. All right.
But in terms of the game itself, I think that 12 points is a little bit over, like a little bit exaggerated. Like from the number standpoint, I get it. You guys have the I think number 4 scoring offense with the number 1 defense and points allowed. So that's where that 12 points come from, and I totally get that. But being division rivals, like I don't see that 12 points being pretty realistic because we know each other.
Right.
So I had said on the podcast that I think we would take the game 27-24. Because one of the things I definitely know that we need to do is contain Josh Allen. If we can contain him, because your guys' run game isn't that great. It's all about Allen running the ball. So if we can contain Allen and make you guys one-dimensional, I think that can be the outcome.
Okay, Matt.
And the weather is supposed to be 50 degrees, low 40.
Oh, we got good weather. That's good weather.
Yeah, I was about to say
that's good.
That's nice. That's perfect here. Yeah, for sure.
Matt.
And so I'm gonna go over. I'm not saying like a blowout here, but my score is 30-17 this week. So 12.5. I think they just cover that, right?
Okay.
And I think the reason is they will probably end up scoring just because of the short passing game. They're gonna move the ball down the field, so whether it be field goals or something like that. They're going to end up scoring a little bit on us for sure. But I think the offense is kind of like they were stalled out in the Miami game. They got it going in the second half. And then last week they were just completely embarrassed. So I think they're going to want to come out and make a statement and definitely put some points on the board. So 30 points is like around our average for the year. So I'm liking it.
I don't know. I don't have a score. I'm not putting scores on, especially what I seen last week. I'm refraining from being. I am. I'm not talking about it. So I'm gonna wait and see. I want to see what the Bills do in this bounce back spot. But I do want to see the Jets. I want to see Mike White. Like I'm very interested in Mike White. Like I like he crazy because I called the Bengals game. I told boys, I said, listen, if you going down there, putting in a little action on it, take the Jets. I feel it. I don't know why I feel it, but I feel it. And like Mike White, I want to see the quarterback controversy. I love when the Jets is in turmoil like that. I want to see the Zach Wilson, Mike White. Which one do we take? I love it. Because clearly Sam Darnold, he was god awful. But anyway,
I was not a fan of Sam Darnold at all. And Jets fans know that. And I had debated with them about it when actually he got drafted. I was at work. I was very angry because it's something about the USC quarterbacks for me. Yes, it's Mark Sanchez, and I wasn't a big fan of him neither. It wasn't Sanchez that got the Jets in the AFC Championship game. It was that number 1 rush, and it was the number 1 defense. Right. Like Sanchez just made the plays count. But that's a story for another day, though. I just wanted to say that.
More famous for the butt fumble than anything,
There you go. Yeah.
That's funny, dog. Definitely, man. So definitely gonna be a great game. But what I want to do now is Kyle and Davin. Just if you can't let the people know where we can find you. You know what I mean. Just shout out everything, all your info and all that.
You can find us on Twitter at Jets Fans Podcast, and you can also find us on Apple, Spotify, other streaming platforms at NY Jets Fans. If you're not a Jets fan and you're just an NFL fan and you just want to listen, because we don't talk just about Jets, we also talk the games and everything like that, because we have our opinion on NFL teams as well. y'all can check us out on there. You can check my Twitter at DavinNY, the number 2 MD. That's like New York to Maryland. So you can check me out on there. And Kyle, you can give them your Twitter feed and all that.
Yeah, you can check me out on Twitter. My handle is Virgo Damas. So yeah, you can check me out there.
Okay, shout out, man. We definitely appreciate Davin and Kyle. Definitely appreciate you for your time coming on. Definitely had a great time. Shout out to all the fans watching. Please like and share. I know it was a little early in the day, but we appreciate y'all from getting on. Shout out to Matt, my guy, and I think Matt, let the people know about the contest that we got.
Yeah, so we, you got another almost a whole day to get into the contest. Our lovely sponsor over at Wing Kings. We do our score prediction every week. Get those score predictions in. We give away a gift card every single week, man. So definitely get in on that.
Absolutely. And go to overduebillspod.com. Overduebillspod.com. We got the merch. Got the article Mike D just put out. So please go support that. And y'all know how we do it. We end every show, Matt, with a little bit of hey, 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 hey.
Hey.